everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nicole. I'm a 33-year-old cash budgeter in Virginia. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom to two littles, and I'm on a journey to become debt-free as well as more financially stable. Today we are going to be doing our November debt update. It will be my second update in my debt payoff journey and my debt confession series that I have started, as well as finish up our October unstuffing for any expenses or usage that we did for the month of October, especially this last pay period. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with our debt update. I'm going to go ahead and jump into things because if that's what you're here for, I don't want you to have to wait too long. So I did print out some basic papers to try and keep track. I plan to hole punch these and put them in my Happy Planner and keep track of them every month. And we are just going to go line by line and see how we did. So we didn't do horrible, but we also did not do great. It was obviously this is only my first month, so we're still getting a hang of things. I'm still using a few credit cards and we shouldn't be. And yeah, so let's see. First off, I'm all combobulated here. Try and make sure everything is in frame for you. And let's just go ahead and zoom in for this part. Okay, so we will zoom in for right now and then I'll zoom back out later. But the first one we are going to start with is going to be our Capital One number 2. So this one is going to be in the red. I accidentally made a purchase on this card, not realizing it was that card. And hopefully I can add what we spent into the payment for this month. So I have this labeled as the month of November because I also made a note at the bottom that we are updating this on November 3rd. So it's technically how we did in October that we are looking at. But it's the beginning of the November update, if that makes sense. So our previous balance from October was $3,094.35. This was our interest of $70. We did a charge of $65. I made a payment of $104, which was only our minimum payment because this is not our debt focus right now, which brings our balance to $3,125.68, which then gives us a difference of $31.33. So we were up $31.33 for the month of October. Next up, we have my Kohl's card. This is a card, I have it in my debt overview just because it is technically debt, but this is not one that I make a minimum payment on. This is a card that I typically, I don't use it as an expenses card, but I do use it for my kids. It's basically like my kids' credit card if I need to do something for them. And so this one, it's a Kohl's card, but I can use it anywhere. I typically only use it at Kohl's, but I did go to Carter's and I needed to get my son some new pants very badly. And it was just one of those situations. But I am hopeful that we, again, will pay this off because we had a previous balance of $112.01. Basically, no interest was added to this. And then we did that charge at Carter's for the $45.56, but I had made a payment of $86 in October to pay for the majority of our $112. That was from September, which then left us with a difference of $39.82. So we were down $39.82 for this month. And like I said, hopefully that $72 I can get paid this month pretty much with the use of our savings challenges. Next up is going to be the American Express card. This card is sorry, I got a little tongue twisted because my son just woke up from his nap and he was distracting me. But this is a card that is going to become our new debt focus. And I am trying to figure out what all I have linked to this card because every time I think that I have taken all the automatic payments off this card, I haven't. And when I go and check, something's been charged to that card. This used to be my expenses credit card, which is why there are things linked to this card, but it is no longer my expenses credit card because it got out of hand. So our previous balance was $1,979.61. We had about $48 worth of interest hit that card. We had charges that equaled $62.45, which were just miscellaneous charges. Like I said, I did go through and pull some off that were a bunch of them were automated charges, so hopefully we won't have those this month. There's one more I think that I'm trying to figure out how to change, but I think I have to call and it's just this big ordeal, so I don't know. And I had only made a payment of $68 on this card because I was not anticipating these charges. So that means our balance was $2,003.20, which left us over $23.59 for the month of October. So not great, especially with this card trying to become our next focus. My Chase card is technically my business credit card. So while this is a focus because I do want to get this paid off back to zero, all of the expenses on this card only correlate or attach to my Etsy shop, my YouTube, my Ko-fi, any of that type of stuff, any type of budgeting, any of that I'm trying to do. So most of this is our startup costs that I had to do when I first decided to start doing the Etsy shop. We have an interest. So our starting balance was the $773.48. We had interest of $11.69. I did do a charge of about $46 for some materials that hopefully, I will pull from my Etsy check and be able to not add to the debt for this month. We had made a payment of $130 thanks to all of you who had shopped in my Etsy for September, which left us with a balance of $701.15. So we were down $72.33. Next up is my Citi card. This is the card I absolutely despise. I cannot stop using this card, you guys. It has a very high um, credit line on it, and for me, and it is like our family credit card. It's not just mine. It's in my name, but my husband also, if he says we need to use it for something, I give it to him and he uses it, and we cannot stop using this card. Which is why it is not my debt focus right now, because until I can stop using this card, it is not going to be my focus because I feel like that is just redundant. So our October balance was $4,390.66. Interest hit of almost $90. We had charges of $340.41, y'all. Ask me why. I don't know. But we did make payments of almost $631.91 based off of some unstuffings that we did and some purchases that we did. I tried to obviously pay back plus our minimum payment that we pay every month. And that left us with a new balance of $4,188.63. So we did lower that card by over $200, which is fantastic. But it's so frustrating that we used it because we could not take advantage of that whole $600 that we put on that card, which is where my frustration always comes in when it comes to debt, because I want to stop using these cards so bad, but I just feel like we haven't officially hit our groove or got into the rhythm of things to where we will be able to officially stop using some of these cards yet, which is so frustrating. But we're working on it. That's why we're doing this, because going over these numbers really makes me see what's going on. Next up is our care credit, which I am so happy to say is completely paid off. We did it. We paid off our very first credit card for this series, and we did it before our interest hit. We did it before our deadline. So our previous balance from October was $405.07. We had zero interest hit. We did have a charge of $30 because somehow, I guess I made my October payment, or I guess I didn't make my October payment when I thought I did, and I had a late fee. So we got hit with a late fee. So that obviously got added into our total that we had to pay off, but we did, and we paid off $435.07. So we were down the full $405.07. I'm not going to count that $30 because that wasn't there in October. And then my silver credit card, that is my expense credit card. The 163 is the rollover transactions that we had based off of some spending that we did not have funds for from August and September. So those are the things that we are going to address when we move on to our unstuffing. So overall, I would say we added to our debt right here in this Capital One. We added to our debt for our American Express card, but we lowered our debt everywhere else. So 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 reds is pretty good in my opinion. Like I said, this one was not going to be great, but it was not going to be awful. So let's add up how we did. So I did some math off camera just to make this part go a little bit easier. Our starting total from October was $10,196.18. The total charges and interest that we accrued was $811.21. Our total payments that we made were $1,454.98. So let's see if all of that math off camera was correct. Let's do some speed. I'm going to speed you up. Okay, already we're wrong. Oh, because I wrote this wrong. Pause for a second. Okay, this number was wrong. So our actual starting from, I wrote down the wrong number. It was 10,000. I did some reverse numbers here. It was $10,918.18 was what our starting total was. So now if we do our $10,918.18 plus our $811.21 minus 145498, that gives us a new total of $10,274.41, which means we are down $643.77, which obviously is great. So again, we paid over $1,400 towards these cards, but because we are still using some of these cards, we only benefited less than half of that, which is not ideal. So that's what we are going to work on for the coming month. We are going to work on not using these cards as much, and see if we can do better for October. I'm going to zoom it back out a little bit. Okay. So now, just real quick, I do want to show you, so this tracker is where I'm going to write all of my, any activity that I do on these cards, my payments and everything, just to make it keep a little, like, keep track better. So I did already make another payment to my Capital One card, my minimum payment. So I did write that down. And then for each card, for each account, it has its own paper, and I'm going to be more specific in keeping track of this as well. That way, especially for the American Express card, I can write down like when we finish challenges, because I want to be making those payments like as we go. So I'm making multiple payments a month. So again, I wrote down our new minimum balance from November, and then I did go ahead and add that I made our minimum payment balance on this one. And like I said, every card has one of these sheets, and I still have to print off my debt snowball type sheet, because ideally I do want to be doing the snowball method for paying off these accounts. But for right now, I am not able. I did have a couple questions in my last video of like what method I'm using. And for right now, I'm not able to roll over our snowball for minimum payments, because we were not making a minimum payment on that care credit card. We were just paying what we could towards that card since we were in our interest-free period. So once we are able to pay off our American Express card, which is our next focus, once we are able to pay that one off, that is when our debt snowball will officially begin, because then whatever our payment was for our American Express will get added on top of our next card, and that will be the plan going forward. So like I said, this was only the second debt update, and we are going to, we're just getting started. So progress is hopefully going to keep being made, and we are going to get this figured out and start making better choices and get into some better habits. So that's going to be it for the debt update portion of this video. So if you were only here for that part, thank you so much for watching, and consider subscribing and sticking around. I will be posting the debt update videos every month, but throughout the month I do mini debt updates in my cash stuffings, and when we play our savings challenges to help make paying these extra payments towards our debt fun. So that being said, hi guys, I just wanted to cut in real quick. This is future Nicole here. I just wanted to let you know that I ended up splitting this video into two separate videos instead of just one big one. So I am actually just going to go ahead and end this video here. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking the video, leave me a comment below, and subscribe. And then I will see you in the next video, which will be what was filmed right after this, as well as a little bit of extras. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.